Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Once again, this is Benidorm by Anna, and it's Anna with you here, of course. And today we'll be talking about the latest situation and news from our sunny Benidorm region and in general from Spain. So as for the situation, I want to say that we don't really have the exact numbers today since it was weekend, and on weekend our Ministry of Health doesn't work, obviously. So today they basically say that according to the numbers that a lot of different autonomic regions here in Spain provided during the weekend, the situation is still stable. On Friday, the index here in Spain was 124. So we will know today, probably in the evening time, what is the new index, and hopefully it didn't grow. Today there is a slight change in restrictions in Madrid area. In Madrid, all bars and restaurants are allowed to open until 1 a.m. So 1 o'clock at night, starting from today, which gives them a few extra hours to work and a few extra hours of gaining some more income. The situation in Spain in general, with the borders still pending to open, is slightly changing. You know that Spain was one of those countries that was screaming that the borders will be open. There's no restrictions from tourists from UK. From 7th of June, all other countries of the world will be able to come. Of course, it's more for the vaccinated ones, or the ones that already had the virus, or the ones that are able to show that their PCR test is negative. Including the United States and including India as well. But from the India, people would need to stay on the obligatory quarantine during 10 days after their arrival to Spain. Anyway, Spain was decided to open all the borders, but right now something happened, and I think that they've actually seen that a lot of countries from the European Union somehow went back. And they've decided not to rush themselves as much, because the Indian variant of the virus as well is very dangerous. And it's specifically dangerous, they say, for people who only had 1 dose of vaccine or who are not vaccinated. So a lot of countries went back and they say, no, we'll wait a little bit more with the tourism. And Spain eventually is decided this Saturday night, they've decided to maintain the borders closed for third countries who are non-European Union and Schengen countries as well. Borders closed until 30th of June. So basically until July, no one can come from the third countries just because they want to. They need to have a specific and important reason for that, either family issues, or something that happens here due to work, due to education, something why they need to come to Spain and cannot wait until 30th of June. So yes, this is what's happening right now. It's very strange because Spain was so sure. They were telling all the time that all the borders will be open 7th of June, everything will be open, you can buy your tickets, you can book your hotels, you know. And now this is what's basically happening. A lot of people were happy about it, a lot of people were planning their holidays, but they need to postpone them because eventually Spain's decided that we need to wait slightly more until the international tourism in general from all over the world will come to our country. So let's see what's going to happen. I don't like to say, this is why I don't really like to say from 7th of June everyone is able to come. Yay. No, I just maintain myself neutral in this position because I know that the law can change from one day to another. Basically, this is what happened right now here in Spain, and things can change a lot because this virus thing is just unpredictable. You know that one day you can be here with a low amount of cases and the next day cases might start growing as crazy, so you never know what might happen. But for now, for the day of today, Monday, this is what's happening on the 31st of May. The next news that I wanted to let you know about, here in Spain we have a huge problem with the people who help us to open the door just in case it's locked and we forgot our keys inside, or we locked ourselves out. We didn't want to, but this, you know, these things happen sometimes. Or the door just shut down behind our nose and the keys were left inside. things of life, let's say it like that. So here in Spain, there is a very huge problem with some specific companies that charge just not very decent amount of money, I would say, for helping people out to open the door once again. There is approximately 100 demands, I would call them like that, in the police departments here in Spain, through all Spain. So approximately 100 of them basically saying that they were charged an abusive amount of money. For example, I have here a few examples. One family forgot their keys inside. This was a normal work day at the end, and they've called the company 24-hour service to help them out. They've called the guy out, and they were always asking him how much he would charge for it, because maybe people just didn't have enough money. Like, who knows how much money you have? Like, it's just, you have to know in advance what they would charge you. He didn't answer. He was always saying, no, it's not going to be expensive, it's not going to be expensive. But at the end, once he opened the door, he started to sum the money, and at the end the final invoice was of 500 euros just to open the door for you. The other family lost their keys exactly on the New Year's Eve, where I get why they were charged slightly more expensive, but still it's not the amount to charge. The final bill was of 1,000 euros, slightly more, 1,017 or something like that. They were charged more than 1,000 euros just to open the door, and this is only because it was New Year's Eve. I'm very curious to know if this situation happened to you or to someone who you know. Let me know how much do they charge in your country to open the door in case you lost the keys, or if they were left inside of your house. I really want to know how much do you get charged, because I feel that the numbers will be a lot lower than they are here. This is why a lot of people put a demand on these companies. The most common places and cities where it's very expensive and where these companies actually commit fraud, because they shouldn't be charging that much by law, is Murcia and Castilla-La Mancha. So if you live, or someone of your relatives and friends who live in these regions, they have to check twice before they call someone. They have to have the price, or exact price, because if not, they might get the very unpleasant surprise once the door will be open. The next news is about our area, our lovely Valencian community and Benidorm area. We have a lot of changes, as you might know, as for the speed that we have in the biggest cities in our region. For example, in Benidorm, in Alicante, Calpe, Valencia, Castellón, and so on. In these cities, especially in Benidorm and Alicante, there have been a lot of new speed limits put in place. For example, in the third part, like in the last part of Mediterranean Avenue towards the old town, there's a limit of 10 kilometers per hour for cars, and basically people walking have the 100% of priority, which is very good for us people who just walk and pass by without a car, but it's not very good for people who drive a car, because they need to get quickly from one part of a city to another, and instead of this they spend like 5 or 10 extra minutes to cross the town. This same thing is happening in Alicante. Basically, the biggest cities here are thinking more about the people, about the tourists, about people who are just walking near the beach area and in the most popular places in the cities. This is why they've been limiting the speed of vehicles here in general, not only cars, but motors, bicycles and electric scooters, electric something that has a motor on, and that circulates through the streets of the city. And basically what they did is they've limited in Alicante to 20 kilometers per hour, a lot of streets. Basically they are in the historical city center and in all the most touristic areas. So Why am I telling this to you? I know that a lot of people who come to our area tend to rent a car or a motorcycle, something, to be able to move freely through our area and get to know a lot of different places here during their holidays. So you have to be very careful, because in our area they've put a lot of mobile radars, they've put a lot of speed control, speed limits. So you need to actually check before you go which roads have which speed limit, because there's a lot of controls, and in order to avoid different unpleasant situations with the police and pay a fine, circulate with the speed that is put on these roads, and you would avoid to spend extra money on the fine, which you could spend on a lot more pleasant things during your holidays. The next news is very interesting one, is that in our Alicante region there's going to be a first ever degree in the University of Miguel Hernández. It's the majority of this university part is situated in Elche, but there's a lot of different faculties in Alicante as well. So this university is going to be the first one ever here in Spain that will offer the degree in the big data and artificial intelligence. Yes, as you hear it. This is going to be the first ever, and the university basically will start offering this degree in 2022-23, so in one more year. It's not going to be immediate change, it's not going to be an immediate extra degree to offer, just because it needs a lot of work. They need to find high qualified specialists and professors that will be able to show the students everything that they need to know in order to work in this sphere. Why they're doing this? Because here in Spain especially, we've seen that we thought that we were kind of advanced in technologies, that we were following the rest of the world, but with the pandemic situation and with everything going on, we basically realized that it's not like that, that we are very, very below a lot of countries, and that here we are not really using technology as much as other countries do for even basic things. This is why this university will be offering this degree, to prepare the future specialists for what's going to happen in the next decade, because it's thought that in the next decade there's going to be a huge change in terms of digital world, a lot of different changes that would require qualified specialists. This is why it's very important to start offering this degree in the universities in order to prepare these specialists sooner than later. And the last news for today, it's very important and interesting, especially for people who want to come here and buy a property. If you are willing to buy a property with the variable interest, so it's not going to be like a fixed price, fixed cost that you pay every month, but it's going to vary depending on the month. So sometimes you can pay less, sometimes you can pay more, depending on the Euribor. Here in Spain, the Euribor is very low right now. It's minus 0.480. So it's not the lowest one that we've had, but one of the lowest ones, which basically means, in simple words, that if, for example, right now you pay a mortgage of 120,000 euros, your annual mortgage will be cheaper by 251 euros and 88 cents, which results in 20.99 euros, so basically 21 euros more or less cheaper for each month. The bank rechecks the percentage that you pay, the interest that you pay, every 6 or 12 months. You need to check it in your mortgage contract, but so that you would know the ones that have variable interest inside their mortgage, this is what's going to be happening right now. The mortgage is slightly cheaper than it was before. Although the Euribor is getting higher slightly, but for very, very low amount, not significant one, and specialists say that it's not going to be growing very fast in the near future, so everything is fine. And those who had this variable percentage are very lucky, because they're going to be paying slightly less for their mortgage. These were all the news. And what about the Spanish weather? Well, I must say that Spanish weather is changing. It's not that stable as we are used to have it. To be honest, there's something strange happening, because normally in May, like already end of May, literally, because it's 31st of May today. Tomorrow, the official calendar summer begins, although here in Spain, they say that the official summer begins on the 23rd of June, which is when the official swimming season starts as well, like the summer season in general. There are some fronts coming from the Atlantic Ocean and from the north part, from other north countries towards Spain. So yeah, we just have to deal with it and stay happy with what we have. Always positive, never impositive. So today we will have clouds right here in our Benidorm area. There's going to be some clouds and slight rain on the north part of Spain. Towards the center and Mediterranean area will be just cloudy. And tomorrow there's going to be strong rain in the north part, center, and there might be some slight rain in our Mediterranean area as well. Hopefully it's not going to be the case, but as they say, there is 50% probability, 50% of chance that it's going to be raining here in Benidorm. The rest of the days is going to be approximately the same. By Friday it should be sunny once again, but hopefully it's going to be happening sooner than later. The temperatures are quite comfy. I must say it's not cold right now. Well, for us cold, it's 20 degrees, okay, for Spanish and for those who live here for a long time and are used to the weather already. So for us cold, it's 20. It's not cold. Right now it's approximately 24, 25 degrees, even though it's cloudy. And in all the rest of Spain in general, it's approximately the same temperature. On the north part of Spain, it's expected to have between 21 and 30 degrees. In the center, 24 to 29. In the south part, 21 to 32. And Mediterranean area here, our lovely Mediterranean area, will have between 23 and 30 degrees. In Alicante will be 26. The same here in our lovely Benidorm. In Barcelona, 24. In Granada, 28. In Malaga, 26. The same in Marbella. Sevilla, 32. There's going to be the warmest temperature today. In Madrid, 30. In Murcia, 29. Balearic Islands, 28. Canarian Islands, 24. And Valencia will have 25 degrees. The water temperature is slightly lower than it was during the hot days that we had here the day before, like during the weekend. And right now it's 20.3 degrees. But usually in June, starting from tomorrow, the usual temperature, the average temperature, let's say, that we have in June is of 22.8 degrees. In July, 25, and in August, 26, 27 of water temperature. So it's quite okay. It can be warmer, but it's not the worst situation. I hope you enjoyed today's news, and I hope you got to know something useful and interesting for you. I wish you a very, very nice, wonderful, amazing and light beginning of a new work week, and see you tomorrow with a new video from Benidorm. Tomorrow we will be checking the amazing Simbel Hotel that is right here on the Levante beach in Benidorm, on the first line right near the sea. So don't miss tomorrow's video. Bye everyone.